This is another story I want to kill. Where you one jandama, we need to finish that jandam quickly. And when we say NPP for no, they have nothing to hold on to. Right now, they are on the jandam spree. Omo pese omo forcia na omo de bibi esha Bawumia kong. Bawumia has nothing to his name. Let me state this. If Mahamudu Bawumia believes, say, Waye Juma, he should run on Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's record. John Dramani Mahama or the Atamils, any JJ Rawlings record, and or the Juma. In fact, 90% of John Mahama, time and now the campaign or person be the president, you know. Every time you because was say time and now on any boss ye Juma no. Time on your opportunity, no. And this about Bawumia per se. Ghana for Gini di say or ye Juma and the Akufo-Addo or near Akufo-Addo ye Juma. He should not run away or shy away from Akufo-Addo's record. Sa Bawumia intima for Akufo-Addo anya ni campaigner na Bawumia nim so ni Akufo-Addo nyina omonya papa. Sa Mahamudu Bawumia cannot tell us today say where the yamfa associate no. Now where the mama yamfa associate no. Identity yamfa PDS eme Akufo-Addo. Yamfa de Napco Emma Akufo-Addo. Adan yamfa de scandals ne krono no eme Akufo-Addo. Na ebidia yamfa ma Bawumia adentra. Mahamudu Bawumia should run on the Akufo-Addo's record. En kwasiade Akufo-Addo ye nyina no Bawumia ka ho cabinet no ye. Now, the fake news, joy news, they are trying something. MPP for Mr. Bawumia only credibility biya, only record papa biya. So they are forcing something for Ghanaians to believe. We are here to kill that jandam. Now, that's sorry, joy news for say. My fact check be. Na claim say Mahamudu Bawumia and the brain behind Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program no kre. It is a lie. It is false. It is fake news. It's a lie. Joy News, they have taken money. They want to try and project Bawumia. They know Bawumia does not deserve any projection. I will say this on authority. The issue are Joy News person almost peddle the falsehood they want to peddle. The lies they want to put in the system that Bawumia is the brain behind Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program. No, it is false. It is not true. And let me tell you this. Your reason to I say Bawumia can never claim any credit for a domestic gold purchase program now. A C or Ghana no. You know the reason? Because the domestic gold purchase program no enya Mahamudu Bawumia ene de buy gold a yetoton wo Ghana edema Ghana a yedi sie ema Ghana no yeka say domestic gold purchase program na gold na yetoto edema eye Ghana yedi kogu Bank of Ghana no enya Mahamudu Bawumia ne start ye enti say omo pese omo de credit bi ma Bawumia omo fa 11 koma Bawumia omo fa PDS enkoma Bawumia omo fa dollar from 3.7 to 17 enfama Bawumia omo fa inflation that got all the way to 57% in Emma Bawumia omo fa all the atrocities, the killing of people during elections no omo fa ma Bawumia omo fa ye car na edie so almost $1 trillion omo fa enswa Bawumia omo fa the DDEP omo fa ma Bawumia. They cannot ignore all these things and come and tell us say domestic gold purchase program no Bawumia na de buy inti enye de yentuma Bawumia mabodam. You people are insane at multimedia. And if you think you can keep doing those jandam things, we are not going to allow anybody to lie to Ghanaians again. In fact, let's go into the wagon. Yanko wagon, team, stay with me. Now, when you look at this document, 2021, where ye Ernest Addison, 2021, the time and omo launch what we call the domestic gold purchase program. Remarks by Dr. Ernest Addison, Governor, Bank of Ghana, 2021. And Bank of Ghana, Ankasa Ekasa, the Governor Addison, na Bawumia Akufo-Addo Juma. They were launching this program, domestic gold purchase program. Now, we will say Ghana, you see, so as a nation, you will go there, it's a big question, and it's a question that we need to answer. Now, so one gets go back into the records, sir. Time a Bank of Ghana in 2021, almost launch a domestic gold purchase program. No, the governor of the Bank of Ghana said something. Now, now, when you read the document, on one speech, we are going to take our time and do this. Senebeya, Kwasiyebi, Enka say, Mahamudu Bawumia and the domestic gold purchase program. No, what Joy News put out there is false. Never, or ever believe Sasabna Joy News Akano. Now, the CEO of the Minerals Commission was there, the CEO Ghana Chamber of Mines, the CEO Precious Minerals Marketing Company PMMC was there, CEO of mining companies were there, director and staff of Bank of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the speech of Addison. Now, when you hear the speech of Addison, now you say, domestic gold purchase program, no, Bawumia de buyer, and I say it was something that existed already before Mahamudu Bawumia came into office. It says this, the introduction. It says, good afternoon to all, and let me welcome you all to this special event. This is Addison speaking. This is his introduction. It is a great pleasure to be part of this momentous occasion of launching Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchasing program. You will recall that during the February 2021 MPC press conference, I had projected that we will be ready to commence this program by the middle of the year. 2. This event is indeed historic, as it marks the first time the Bank of Ghana is embarking on a domestic gold purchasing to augment our foreign reserves with a view of doubling gold holdings in our foreign exchange reserves portfolio. Or say, historic because this is the first time Ghana, to gold, akoka gold ya wo hoda da ho. You can say augment. That means uwo gold wo hoda da. Na sebio na enseni inti o launch program wo ya gold na ye ba benya nsisia no ye de ba be ka de wo ho. You can say augmenta. Ebi wo ho ne ye de soso ana ye hyemu kena. Inti omo be ye launch we na gold wo ho na enye dodo no. Ye program we ne de be ka dodo no ho. Meaning the statement was telling you say we already had gold reserve. Now gold will hold that. Whether it was bought from outside or from Ghana, Ghana already had reserves. Now gold that is siho. Now, so or say this event is indeed historic as it marks the first time Bank of Ghana is embarking on domestic gold purchasing to augment our foreign reserves with a view to doubling gold holdings in our foreign exchange reserves portfolio. Now, it therefore marks a significant change in the modus operandi of Bank of Ghana's foreign exchange reserve management operation. Enti, okurenim no, now person just say, yesika ewo dollar any gold no. Sa domestic gold program we are omo air launch no. Eno na edi gold ni bi eba beka ye dollars ewo edi sebio ye den ye gold na ebi wo no. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me share a little bit of history on the importance of gold as a monetary asset. During the era of the gold standard, currency issued by central bank has to be fully backed by I want you to get all the facts. Team, stay with me. Or say, gold measured in troy ounces at that time. The gold standard measure of assessing the strength of currencies was later abandoned at the turn of the 20th century when economies began printing currencies without the backing of gold. Since this transition, currencies have been backed by a variety of instruments, including gold, government bills and stocks, and first-class bills of exchange. In fact, when Ghana issued its jurisdictional currency in 1958, the original currency cover assets for the currency issued included gold, sterling and call money in the United States, in the United Kingdom, and British Treasury bills with maturities not exceeding 3 months, among others. Now, when you go to the part that is marked red, say na Addison Kaye, or say the history of monetary management has revealed that while gold in the reserve cover mix was not given much weight, the history of monetary management has revealed that while gold in the reserve cover mix was not given much weight, the managers of the economy during the 1960-61 financial year took a bold decision to increase the amount of gold to be held in the cover asset mix for the cedi. As a result of this decision, a small amount of refined gold valued at around $3.7 million at that time was bought overseas and transported to the bank's vaults. The fall in the value of gold in the 1960s saw a shift in policy away from gold as a cover asset to foreign currency and securities. Now, what Addison was trying to say, when it comes to gold reserves, you will be. But the difference between the Bawumia de Baye and the order that in 1960, 61, you the Ghana Sika eto gold. Remember, that time, we could not refine gold as Ghanaians. We did not have refineries whereby we can walk in and take the raw gold and do what? And go refine. Remember, we didn't have the technology to refine gold. So what we did was that even though we had gold, we had to go buy refined gold and then do what? Keep in our reserve. So technically, even though those gold, na enya Ghana and the refinery keep in our reserve, we still had to go out and go get gold to keep in our reserve. So at that point, they had to go buy gold with gold to come and keep in our reserve. Until gold reserve was there. Now the difference with what Bawumia Dems came to do was that they saw an advantage. Say now they can do more galamsey and get more gold. So they created what we call the domestic gold purchase program. Now they knew, say there was gold at that time. Technology had advanced to this point. 2021, we could do what? Refine our own gold and keep in the Bank of Ghana. That is why in 2021 we were able to say yenya per se ye 2 year gold near refining near keeping of Ghana. In 1960, we did not have any refinery in Ghana. You bet my refining raw gold, the rock, the ore, and then save at the Bank of Ghana. Yen to mean tubo bano. Nkugu Bank of Ghana said, this is gold. We were supposed to work on the gold. We were supposed to work on the stones, the rocks, to turn into refined gold. Near any technology into what we had to do was to bring the gold and keep in the reserve. Now, in 2021, Ghana moved to the point whereby we can refine gold in Ghana. So a government comes and says, see, to me refining gold or Ghana there. Why don't we buy the gold in Ghana and keep in our reserve? Gold reserve, it is not new. The difference is that in 2021, Ghana has come to that point whereby technology, may refining gold or Ghana, into Bank of Ghana through a PMMC can buy gold and reserve it. So that is all. It is so because say Mahamudu Bawumia and because of the domestic gold purchase program, the first time I hear purchasing gold or Ghana, they are lying. It was because in the 60s we could not refine the gold in Ghana. And if we could not refine the gold in Ghana, did not mean that we did not have gold reserve. The gold that we went out there to get, it was gold that we had to sell gold to go buy and to come keep the reserve. And there's nothing new here. Bawumia for any extraordinary idea for Fribiambaye. Now, let's say, let us give it to Bawumia. Say, Mahamudu Bawumia. Thank you, team. Yamfan say, Bawumia and a domestic gold purchase program to buy it. Let's give it to Bawumia, right? Domestic gold purchase program. No, now the reason now I'm to buy na dia didn't this reason to buy it because joy for any MPP for say by force. Yemfa sa no Emma Bawumia. That's fine. Now Mahamudu Bawumia himself, when they were launching the gold domestic gold purchase program, he made a statement. In fact, so check NPP for Omukacha say gold for oil, the gold for oil was the domestic gold purchase program, no, it was basically about gold for oil. Now, almost yes, sir, all because they needed a lot of gold to go and buy their oil, to go and exchange for oil. And I say petrol, diesel, and I say whatever you call the petroleum products. Now, the question here is, so Mahamudu Bawumia na de a domestic gold purchase program the buyer na. What did we get from that program? Now let's go listen to Mahamudu Bawumia himself. After that, make us a
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has defended Ghana's new controversial policy of buying oil with gold instead of with US dollars. Dr. Bawumia said the current economic challenges facing the country called for an initiative like that, which according to him will ease the pressure on the economy and save the country billions of cedis.
Take the case of gold in Ghana. We've mined gold for over 200 years. When I looked at the data, realized that our total reserves of gold in Ghana was just 8.7 tons at the end of 2021. The largest gold mine, one of the largest, we are in the top 10 in the world, but we had not accumulated enough gold to build our reserves. We looked at the other side of the balance sheet. We export gold, we import oil. The cost of oil imports is about $3 billion a year. So we ask this simple question. Why don't we, since we have always got pressure on finding US dollars to buy oil, why don't we rather reach an agreement to exchange our gold for oil and then sell the oil in cedis, then use the cedis to buy more gold, use that gold to pay for oil, sell the oil in cedis, and then you don't need to look for scarce foreign exchange to buy oil, which always leads to a depreciation in the currency. So with this idea, we said, let's do something that the textbooks don't teach. Let's do something that is out of the box. And this is why we said gold for oil. And we quickly looked at this and we negotiated with the suppliers of oil who were very, very excited and happy to receive gold in payment. Thankfully, yesterday, I think yesterday was Monday, right? Yes, yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, Ghana took its first delivery of oil under the gold.
So what's here Bawumia? Onwankasa can say the gold for oil program no they buy, it was basically to buy oil. It wasn't about keeping gold at the Bank of Ghana in our reserves. Utie Nikasan say they looked at our reserves and we had low gold. That means we didn't have gold. So they devised a plan, and that plan was that the idea of gold for oil, beba. It's gold for oil, no. The main aim for gold for oil was for them to take our gold and go exchange it for oil, not to take our gold and keep them in the vaults or keep them in the Bank of Ghana. The main reason for gold for oil was to take the gold and go exchange for oil and then come and sell the oil in cedis. It is so because you say the domestic gold purchase program, no, Bawumia the buyer, and anything Buta says about Bawumia the buyer. What was the main reason for that gold purchase program? No, they were purchasing the gold not to keep the gold. They were purchasing the gold to go and exchange for oil. Now the question here is, gold for oil, no, as we speak today, ewa hifa. Enya free gold for oil nim. Today as we speak, say I can say gold for oil now, does it exist? Gold for oil has been cancelled because Nippon Okofa gold for oil buy, at the end of the day, he ended up making so much losses to the point whereby in just 2024 they made 2.14 billion Ghana cedis loss gold for oil. It is out to join now. Can say we should give the credit, the brain behind a domestic gold purchase program. Now, domestic gold purchase program, no, how did it benefit Ghanaians? Because at the end of the day, the gold for oil that you are touted to say Bawumia de buy, no, we made a loss close to 2.2 billion just in 2024. So you ask yourself, say, how can you tell us, say, this is something that we have to give credit and tell Ghana for, say, Bawumia because or the idea your friend domestic gold purchasing program by at the end of the day the gold that we purchased under Bawumia no sa gold the gold in the oil ye wie ne ye boka ye wie ne ye nyina ye twa mu say amfa so ambre Ghana. So for somebody to sit at Joy News or multimedia and tell us to say Bawumia is the brain. You can be brain behind anything, but at the end of the day, how does it benefit the people? Obianim nyansa, nanso kakre bi na wa adwene a omutudi omadwene ebo nipa. Sebio yenyina ye chechira asase we no, na obi agya ne nan. But at a point, some people sat down and said, say, ejanan, ombetuma convert ejanan de aye bibi. Into obianim nyansa, but badwen bankwa na tumi da. Emma Sebio, Sanyansana, etumi dane idea betuma nipa. If you are the brain behind domestic gold purchase program, the question here is the brain behind it, how did it benefit the people? If you are the brain behind it and it does not benefit the people or it never benefited the people, then you basically did not think through anything. You cannot take credit for anything because adwene na already idea no nyansana na emu eha entumi ansesa anything. Entumi ansesa bra. Intima fa bibia ambeka Ghana yesika sam ehun. If you tell me say we should give Bawumia that credit, there should be a reason why we give somebody credit. Credit no you for for dien because any fool can think about we as a nation buying gold from Ghana. But at the end of the day, you to gold we are a dien infaso ni nya osa gold nim. So this guy and what the Joy News guys are trying to push, jandam, it is fake. Bawumia has never been the brain behind gold reserves. From 1960, the records are there. You can go back and check. From 1960, 1961, when you go into the archive, this is an IMF document. 1960, 1961, gold, Nayeto gold, a reserve war Ghana. In 1960, we did not have refineries in Ghana. Into gold near Toy and a reserve, we had to go get that gold. Right now in 2021, there were refineries in Ghana. Until decided say, gold, you better na good Bank of Ghana. It is not different. There's nothing extraordinary about the domestic gold purchase program. There's nothing extraordinary about it. It's memo being Ghana. And can't Ghana for say Bawumia is the brain behind what? Ghana had gold in our reserves before Bawumia was born. It make nobody sit in Ghana and try to throw lies in the system and make it look like say Bawumia is some exceptional intelligent human being. He is not. We gave Bawumia the whole country to run. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he's daft. He cannot read. We gave Bawumia this country to run. Basic. He could not. Under Bawumia and Akufo-Addo, yet to oil chain, President Tibia Waba, these two idiots could not run this basic country. Nobody should sit in Accra and think, say, they can put things out there and make it look like, say, Bawumia ni mnyansama. Bawumia ni mnyanse biya.